Hello and welcome to another video. It's me as usual. Bit different this time. I'm gonna be pretty much ranting about the problems of Overwatch because, you know, it feels like they don't fucking listen to the suggestions we send them. It feels like Jeff doesn't really give a shit, to be honest. I've seen a lot of other people echoing the sentiment, several other YouTubers. They're really shooting themselves in the foot, and you know, I might as well add my 2 cents to the endless amount of voices kind of going on about it. So, without any further ado, here it is. Alright, well, first of all, I just have a problem with each of, well, not each of the heroes, but I'd say like half the cast needs balance changes, in my opinion. You know, there's just a lot of problems. There's, okay, some characters fine, so going through them A to Z, Anna to Zenyatta, as it were. Anna is actually fine. No changes are really needed. I think she's good. Nothing needs to be changed about Anna. Ashe, the same. Actually, she was really balanced when she came out, and I don't think any further balancing is needed. She's fine. They did a really good job with Ashe, in my opinion, creating a really well-balanced character who's fun to play and actually useful. So, good job, Blizzard. Hopefully the new character coming out soon will be like Ashe, and not like some of the other shitters we've had. Bastion, okay, unpopular opinion here, Bastion needs a buff. Okay, before you get your pitchforks out, specifically he needs shield back. Again, pitchforks, set them down. You know? So I've been thinking, like, you know how he used to have his shield, right? He should probably have that back, in my opinion. I mean, I know it was kind of overpowered, right? But just don't fucking make it overpowered, right? It could easily do that. I mean, it had like, what was it in the beta? It had like fucking 1,000 health or something crazy, making him into essentially mini Reinhardt. Yeah, that was stupid. I agree with you there, and everyone who holds that sentiment that shit was OP. But I just think that give it like 100 health, that'd be fine, to be honest. Like, he's just so shit on his own. He's literally only good behind a shield, so if you don't have Reinhardt or Orisa, you're actually fucked. I guess maybe Winston, but not really. So I personally love playing Bastion. I know that everyone fucking hates him, but you know, he's one of my favourite characters. Even though he's kind of annoying. I mean, just, yeah, give him like a fucking 100 health shield. People should learn how to flank. Just because idiots can't figure out how to beat a fucking simple character, why did they have to nerf him? I mean, Brigitte, same shit right there as Bastion. A few morons couldn't beat her, so they nerfed the shit out of her. I mean, I personally think she was a little OP when she came out myself, but they just needed to nerf her shield bash to not be as obnoxious. Literally the only problem was her shield bash was like a quick cooldown with a lot of range. Instead they nerfed her passive healing, they nerfed her armor, they nerfed her like ultimate, they nerfed everything, and they keep doing this because of the league, which I'll probably talk about later, but they should not make balanced strategies based in the league. D.Va's fine, you know, to immediately segue, D.Va's fine. Like, okay, defense matrix, actually, that's what I would say. Defense matrix kind of shit now, but D.Va was fine. Doomfist can actually fucking die in a fire. His rocket punch being a one-hit kill against like 90% of the characters is fucking bullshit, and I hate it. Literally just take 25 damage off rocket punch and you've made a balanced character. Because I mean, he doesn't need to be able to one-hit kill people. He's meant to be doing combos anyway, so if people were playing him right, it literally would make no difference. The only difference it would make is you wouldn't get some arsehole Doomfist, you know, kill you on full health for no reason. In fact, it doesn't even do 200 damage, does it? It does more. I'm pretty sure you can get one-shotted even if you're Mei or Reaper. Which fucking sucks. Genji I also hate. I really hate Genji. Okay, I know he's kind of meant to be annoying, that's his job, but, like, that fucking deflect move he has can burn in hell. And, you know, as well as, I personally just think the idea to add deflect at all is fucking stupid, because it means another player is being punished for being, you know, good enough at positioning and aim and whatnot to essentially fucking land a critical shot on you. But you pressed one button, so clearly you're more suited. Like, you literally just have to press a button and look at them, and they fucking die. I think that the real problem that I have with it is just that he can fucking deflect then swift strike. That's not cool, you know. Like, yeah, not many other characters can go from being damn near invulnerable to doing a massive amount of damage that quickly. There's not really a counter to it, is the thing. Like, okay, I get it, you could say there are other characters of similar thing, but like, you could compare Mei and Reaper, who also have, you know, abilities to ignore damage, which are arguably more powerful than Genji's, because Reaper gets a move speed buff and Mei gets healing, but they can't deal damage in that state. Genji can deal damage whilst deflecting from, you know, any attacks that were in the air when he pressed deflect. Like, what he's supposed to do, just not shoot at him? And then he can deal damage straight afterwards. He can fucking decimate you if he literally presses 2 buttons whilst you're attacking him. He just looks at you and presses 2 buttons and he can kill quite a lot of characters fairly easy. It's bullshit. Hanzo, in my opinion, is one character who needs a big change. Okay, Scattershot was fucking OP. Storm Arrows is annoying. Now, Storm Arrows is better now. I think they should actually bring Scattershot back, though. But they should nerf the shit out of it. Because originally the purpose of Scattershot was to finish off low health enemies who were fleeing. Or something like, you know, when people were running away and into an enclosed space, you know, taking cover, you fire a scatter arrow in after them to take them out. The only problem was that direct hits did a massive amount of damage. Really simple way to change it is, first of all, make it so that a direct hit with Scattershot does piss poor damage, like uncharged arrow kind of damage. So you have to actually bounce it off of something to get the full effect of the damage. That would be pretty neat, but also just lower the overall damage, so like, even a perfect Scattershot still only does like 125 health tops. So you can't one-hit kill anyone with it. Because then you'd have to use it, you'd have to bounce it off a surface to kill a low health enemy. It'd be a cool way to, you know, finish off fleeing enemies and stuff, which would be pretty handy for someone like Hanzo. And yeah, then they should also, I think, Stormbow could probably be a bit weaker, just solely because I see it used too often as a spray and pray thing. I think I don't know, either a slightly longer cooldown or lower damage. It just needs to be less obnoxious. Maybe just no ability to score headshots with it, because I mean, oh yeah, reduced headshot damage, because okay, they're just fielding a lot of arrows really quickly, hoping one will get a headshot and insta-kill. But I did hear it was nerfed recently. I've not really checked the patch notes, I don't keep up too well with that, but yeah. Junkrat, oh, Junkrat. Ah, where did we go so wrong? Why are we here? Just to suffer? I personally have a vendetta against Junkrat as well. He's fine in one regard, in most regards, sorry, it's, you know what it is, it's concussion mine. None of this bullshit of him being able to spam a concussion mine at point blank range and get killed on someone who's fucking made for close range, like, I don't know, like Doomfist or Tracer, can get their shit pushed in. Because, yeah, Junkrat, you know, he chucks a fucking concussion mine. Just make concussion mine do self-damage when it hits him and someone else. So he could still concussion jump fine, but he wouldn't be capable of doing such massive damage with it at point blank range, because he's not a fucking point blank character. He's meant to be a mid-range, you know, area denial character, so fucking make him that, you know? Let's see. Lucio's fine. Lucio's perfect, actually. Don't ever touch my boy Lucio. He's god. Lucio is king. McCree, bit annoying, but fair. You know, I used to have a real problem with McCree, because the flash hammer's a bit obnoxious, but you know, it requires a bit of skill to execute, and it's not too bad. Although sometimes the AoE on the flashbang's a bit weird. Not OP or underpowered, just weird. It just feels kind of fucky. That's just me though. May's actually pretty fine. I can't think of a problem with May. Nah. No, there's not really a problem with May, to be honest. She's actually okay. The fucking devil though. Mercy's a bit shit, but I really just think they need to fucking resurrect this kind of shit. Like the fact that it doesn't reset upon dying. Like the cooldown doesn't reset when you die. I think this is because you could theoretically deliberately die just to get res back. But like, why? It's not an ultimate anymore. Granted, it's a powerful ability, but it's easy to fuck up because it's kind of, you know, if you get moved slightly or don't hold the button down long enough sometimes or some shit like that. I've seen a lot of Mercies fuck up their res and it still goes on cooldown, so like, Jesus. Either just make it an ultimate again or just fucking stop making it so weak. Because come on, it's like Mercy's whole thing is resurrecting people. And it's a bit naff because you can only do it once every blue moon. Whereas fine if slightly annoying in deathmatch. Orisa needs a fucking buff. I personally like Orisa. I thought she was crap when I first started playing, but it's just grown on me. The only problem I have is that her gun feels inconsistent. It feels like, what is it people have said it's like trying to aim like hit scan like trying to aim projectiles using a hit scan weapon or something like that. It like the firing animation and the like bullet visual effects don't sync up with the actual damage all that well. The damage is piss poor anyway. I think she needs maybe a slight damage boost. Her ultimate's kind of shit. I feel as if it doesn't quite persist for long enough. It feels a bit naff. But you know, yeah, she just needs a slight buff so she's more viable. And again, I'm not talking about like viable in comp. I'm talking about, I've played with people in nearly every rank. Like the highest ranked people I've played with was like the high diamonds, and the lowest rank I've played with bronze players before. I'm pretty sure. I have a friend who's in bronze I've played with. So I've played with a good chunk of the casual like player base, and yeah, she needs a buff in that regard. I don't really care about the pro league. I mean, I think they should balance the game based on what the majority of players want. You know, goats is a good example of that. They're talking about people whining about goats. You know, and yeah, they're changing the game to change goats, to make it not as viable, but only pros are using it, and they're always going to find some team compositional strategy that works like that, so why would you bother? Anyway, next hero. Yeah, Farrah's fine. All I can say, I'm not really. Now, I know what you're expecting. Oh, you're a Reaper main, so you're just going to suggest we give him 2 million health, and a shield, and infinite range, and fucking guaranteed play of the game just by picking him. No. He's actually fine in his current state. I know people said he's a bit overpowered, and he does certainly feel a bit weightier. He feels a bit more beefy of a character, but they should all feel like that. Make everyone overpowered and no one's overpowered. It's better to buff things than nerf things generally. People are happier when you buff stuff, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, you have, I guess, power creep, you know, I guess eventually every character in the game would have their health measured in the thousands and shit if they kept doing that. But, no, he's fine. I mean, although, personally, I do think they could maybe even out the shotgun spread pattern more. Like, make it totally non-random. Competitive TF2 has that non-random bullet spread, so it's completely consistent in a grid-based pattern. Do that. Because I'm sick of the inconsistent bullet spread shit, and this really just goes for any shotgun hero. Reinhardt is fine, Reinhardt is god tier. Keep calm and Reinhardt on. Yeah, Roadhog's pretty much fine. Excuse me. Yeah, Roadhog's fine. I don't have a problem with Roadhog. Uh, Soldier's fine. Sombra, I'd say Sombra's fine, but we all deep down know she's shit. Like, she's really, really weak. But there's nothing you can do about it, so... Yeah, no. I feel like Symmetra's not gotten a lot of love from the devs, to be honest. I feel like she's hated by the player base as well, and she's a different character now completely to when she came out, which is a bit odd. But honestly, all I can say is that I miss her having 6 turrets that were weaker from both perspectives, because you see, when she had 6 turrets, she had to strategize whether to stack them up to be capable of killing people more effectively, or just leave them alone so they could support teammates without really being capable of killing anything. Plus, she could be more spread out in her defenses, you know. It was just an extra layer of versatility. So I feel like if she had 6 turrets that had half the health they normally do and half the damage, she could still play the exact same way if you just double stacked your turrets, you know. But yeah. But other than that, she's pretty much good now. She's actually decent. She's grown on me again. I used to kind of before the massive changes, I'd mained Symmetra for like a week before getting really quickly bored of her. And then after changes, I just never played her, but she's okay now. Torb, again, gone through a lot of changes. You know? I don't know why they did that, to be honest, because he was pretty solid before. Like, it seems dumb to me they changed him, but honestly, my verdict on him is that he's good now. I mean, he was always good in my opinion, but now he's a different kind of good. I mean, I would like, if they see they're releasing a new character who's like some sort of fucking combat medic or some shit, that's cool. We do need more healers, because there are like fucking 6 healers compared to, like, you know, DPSs in the double digits, and Blizzard are wondering why the fuck no one's picking a healer. They're not, yeah, it's not very smart, but we'll get to that. Top's good now, to be honest. His shotgun fire consumes more ammo than his primary fire, which is kind of dumb, because they're both, I'd say, equally as powerful. So I don't know. I mean, it makes logical sense that it would consume more ammo, because it's like a shotgun spread rather than just one projectile. But we abandoned logical sense at the time that a fucking robot could be knocked unconscious with a sleep dart, so... You know, why bother? Fuck it. Tracer's fucking annoying and I hate her, but she's balanced. The lightning skin for her with the lesbian haircut's terrible, but she's still balanced. Also, side note, Tracer should just not be the poster boy or poster girl for this game. You know, why is she the flagship character? Why? Like, I don't get it. She's got an annoying voice and she's not fun to fight. She's the fucking Pikachu of this game. Central character despite very little importance or even relevance to the plot, to be honest. You know. Why? There are better people to make the central, like, character of the game. Yeah, even fucking Winston, as much as I hate him. We'll get to him later. Widowmaker is a cunt and I hate her, and she's a blue French bitch, and I'm pretty sure everyone from previous videos knows my feelings on Widowmaker. I really don't like Widowmaker, simply because she can just click on you and you're dead. I don't like being the antagonist of a point-and-click adventure game. But to actually dive into that, and I have been playing Widow a little bit recently in order to research this, because yeah, there was a little bit of preparation behind this video. It's not totally impromptu. Don't be fooled. Don't be completely fooled. Well, a sniper rifle charges way too quick. I remember the first time I ever shot someone as Widow in a game of quick play. It was a Hanzo, I think. I shot him directly in the dick, which is why I remember, because it made me laugh. Because I just scoped in, saw Hanzo, like, as soon as I'd scoped in, he was in my sights, because he's just standing in a bad place. Fired after, like, literally half a second, and he was instantly dead. That doesn't seem like a good incentive for making, you know, a skill-based character. I know she's already got a very high skill ceiling, through various things, but yeah, her sniper rifle needs to either take longer to charge or do less damage on body shots. It's really fucking annoying. She can one-shot quite a lot of people with a fully charged body shot, which doesn't take a long shot. I think she can at least. I mean, yeah, my Hanzo anecdote, I don't know. Maybe it's out of date, maybe I misremembered, but either way, whatever way you slice it, a fully charged sniper rifle does a lot of fucking damage. And obviously an uncharged headshot, I'm pretty sure can kill most people. Which, okay, it's not fun to fight against, you know. Actually as well, to stop them constantly doing that fucking annoying peeking thing and being able to just dip in and out of cover constantly to be impossible to hit whilst also killing you, I'd personally make it so she loses like 1 point of charge whenever she's not standing still or scoped in. Her max charge is reduced by 1, you know, which ideally would mean she can't one-shot body shot people, you know, and headshots aren't as effective as against tougher characters like Bastion, obviously, as well, or like, you know, Reinhardt and shit. Why Reinhardt be getting headshot, I don't know, but yeah. Also, Venomine is garbage. I know it just serves to be effectively an alarm to Widowmaker, like to let her know when someone's near where she put it, because it's not like giving her the ability to literally see through walls in like various different forms is already annoying enough. Snipers who can see through walls, like, there's a reason wall hacks is like a cheat, is because it's a bitch to fight against and it's not very fun or skillful. So making it an actual game mechanic's kind of dumb. You know, but anyway, I would actually suggest a slight buff to Widowmaker to compensate for the fact they should nerf the fucking shit out of a sniper rifle, because it's annoying to fight, takes, you know, it could raise the skill ceiling a bit, make that charge mechanic that they stole from TF2 actually important, which would be pretty cool. You know, because if you can steal a mechanic from TF2, at least do it well. I mean, Jesus, we've had this shit with Torbjorn, and I'm not going to start going into shit they stole from TF2, because there is a lot. I love Overwatch, but it is kind of a clone. I'm not going to be one of those people that defends it in that regard. Anyway, yeah, Venomine could use a buff, just because it's shit. Just because it don't really do anything. It might as well not exist. Yeah, Winston's shit and I hate him, but you can't really change anything. He's balanced enough as it is. The only thing I'd personally change is make it so a fucking intro cinematic where you hear him fucking slobbering and eating a banana the first thing you hear when you turn on the game. Get rid of that, or have an option to get rid of it, because every time I start up Overwatch, I'll look down at my phone or something and just hear, like, fucking Winston ASMR. I don't like that shit. Anyway, Wrecking Ball. Well, my big complaint is they added him instead of Jetpack Cat, after saying Jetpack Cat was too silly for the game, and then fucking added this little bitch. As well, he doesn't skitter about outside of his mech and fight you with like a needle or something when you blow up his mech. He just kind of dies, which is also kind of funny, to be honest. Again, I guess he's fine. He's a bit shit, to be honest. He's quite weak, but I mean, that's just inherent in how much he relies on his cooldowns and gets countered by Sombra. I mean, thanks for making Sombra useful by adding Wrecking Ball Blizzard. Zarya? I can't even fucking play Zarya, so I can't comment. Every other character, bar like maybe a couple, I've played at least a bit, or quite extensively, so I think I know at least a bit what I'm talking about. Zarya is... I don't even fucking try and play Zarya. She's crazy hard to master. Respect to anyone who mains Zarya and is like above plat. That shit's difficult. Zarya doesn't need a nerf. Zenny as well. Zenny doesn't really need a nerf. I mean, explain to us why he gets caught in Junkrat's traps, Blizzard, for fuck's sake. But other than that, he doesn't need a nerf. He's good. Those are just the changes I would propose, or, you know, very vague, floaty options. Nothing too crazy, but those are the changes I would suggest. As you noticed, I said like a good chunk of the characters are okay as they are, or just need a slight buff tweak or a slight nerf. There's not a lot of characters I think need a major change, Aside from, I guess, like Hanzo, and I guess you could consider Junkrat's major. But yeah, that's pretty much that part of this, you know? Alright, so, the arcade. I don't like the arcade. I really don't like the arcade. The reason for this being, they can't decide whether they want us to be tryharding or not, is the long and short of it. You see those green dots up there, you know, they reward you with loot boxes. Okay, so if there's a reward at stake that's on a time limit nonetheless, 9 wins in 7 days is what you've got to do. So yeah, that's encouraging us to try and win. But all of the things on the arcade are silly fun modes, like low gravity is the perfect example. Do you want us to be silly and having a laugh and just sort of cocking about in the arcade modes, or do you want us to be sweating it out and trying to win? Personally, I think the loot box mechanic should just be extended to all modes, not just what's in the arcade currently, and then job done. You know, I guess that it's to try and break us out of habits or something, but I don't know, I think there's other better ways to do that, you know. Challenges would be a cool thing. If each character had an attached challenge that's like a long milestone, so get 1,000 headshots on Widowmaker or something, or maybe not something that extremely major, you know. Heal a certain amount of damage as mercy, stuff like that. And then when you get that, you get an exclusive unlock for that character, like a skin or a weapon skin. You know, instead of a gold weapon, you get, I don't know, a silver weapon or some shit. That'd be pretty cool, actually, and I think a lot of people would appreciate that. You know, having a mastery challenge for each character, like the contracts in TF2. I'm describing a feature from TF2 because I know I've bitched about them stealing features from TF2, but hey, if you're gonna rob a game of its features, a game as good as that, yeah, that reminds me. I mean, at least not fucking stealing shit from Hunt Down the Freeman. Another problem I have with the arcade, and this is the big one. This is my gripe to end all gripes with Overwatch, and that's saying something because I have a lot of gripes. Well, I'll let you figure it out. You see, I'll give you a second to figure it out. Just looking at this screen here, can you see anything wrong with this? Can you see anything perhaps that's missing? In case you haven't noticed, there's only 5 game modes. So what would happen if I wanted to play Capture the Flag? Bear in mind, this is a video game which I've paid money for and purchased and own. And I'm over-exaggerating my words now, including my P's, to emphasise this, but holy fucking shit, dude. Let me play all of the game modes in this game I own. It doesn't have to be in the arcade. It could be somewhere else. It could be in a different screen. You know, it could not have the loot box reward, although personally I just said the loot box reward system could be reworked anyway. Yeah, like Retribution and Uprising. They're 2 of my favourite things in this entire game. When I first played Uprising, I was fucking stunned. I loved it. I played that so many times when it was on, back in, I think it was back in 2018 anniversary. I just played the shit out of it, especially on All Heroes. That shit was fun. Why is it limited to once a year that I can play that? It's a piece of content in a game that I have paid for. That's worse than it being DLC, I think. Because at least if it was some EA Season Pass bullshit, again, you'd have to pay extra, but you'd be able to play it whenever you want. And this shit is... I know that Blizzard don't quite make games so much as Skinner boxes. I understand that that's their MO, but fucking hell, people. I just want to be able to play, you know, competitive CTF. What if I wanted to hop in some comp CTF, or comp deathmatch actually? I love deathmatch. Right now, I can only play deathmatch on Petra, the worst deathmatch map. Competitive deathmatch? What if I want to do some comp deathmatching? Because that's what I've decided to, you know, focus on. What if that's my favourite part of Overwatch is deathmatching, and I want to do it competitively to get some of those sweet purple boys? Can't do that. Can't do that because it's not the right time. Why? It's just really simple, and it's, yeah, it shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be a problem. I've made my case. It's a fairly simple point. Let us play all the fucking game modes whenever we want. I know if you went back in time like 5 years and told me one day you're going to be asking a games development company to let you have access to every game mode whenever you want, I'd probably fucking laugh and be quite confused, because that's fucking stupid. Also, yeah, like no limits especially. Does that really have to be in the arcade? That should just always be a thing. So yeah, just let us play the fucking game modes in the games that we have actually bought. I can't believe I have to say this, Blizzard. Come on. And finally, the event you've all been waiting for, the server browser. Now this is on consoles, I'm sure you've noticed. I don't know if it's different on not PS4, PC. I don't know, I don't own this game on my PC because I'm not buying it fucking twice. What do you notice about this? It's all fucking shit, basically. Like, it's shit, yeah. And why would I want to play this shit? I want to play the official Blizzard servers, so, you know, and I know you can click quick play, but you can't choose what map you want to go on. And I mean, even if you do, it will change the next game. So if you want to just sit there practicing a certain map and not having to switch servers constantly, hell, even if you just want to stay and play any map and not constantly switch servers, you can't. You know, you can't pick servers based on game mode, you know, number of people. You can't be like, oh, that fucking game, you know, it's basically empty. I don't want to join that. Again, TF2, I don't mean to beat the shit out of an already very dead and rotten horse, but TF2 is a much better version of this. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I have gripes with TF2, I could do a whole separate video about that, but I won't, because I'm pretty sure Xenomite already covered nearly every issue of the game, and also bitch about random crits like a little bitch. Getting back on track, yeah, just let us access Blizzard servers is what I want to see personally. I'm going to be able to go in here and go, right, I want to play Oasis on a regular server, or on a server with bots, a proper one, not this fucking practice mode shit that, you know, I want bots to fill in on both teams when people leave, so I can at least have some sort of temporary teammate. Oh, and funnily enough, bots is what we're talking about next. And finally, that's right, we're near the end of this shit show of me just literally bitching about Overwatch, because it's not like everyone does that. But anyway, my final issue, which, okay, it's not as big as the others that I've talked about, you know, because obviously hero balance, general UI shit. In fact, there's probably more of the UI shit I could talk about. I could, like, dive into FOV settings or some shit like that. Or, you know, like, why doesn't the game have this? Why can't I do that? You know, quality of life stuff. But I think that's already a given. You know, it's like saying the game needs more colorblind options. You know, obviously that's always something that everyone kind of knows. I mean, obviously, yeah, it probably helps someone to tell them, but I'm talking specifically about my personal issues here. Because boy, I got issues. The bots are shit, basically. Need I say more? Like, if you've ever played a match or two with bots, you would know. Because first of all, they can't actually play all or even most of the heroes. I think they can play like, it's like, not even 20 heroes that they can play, something like that. I don't know why that is, but the ones they can play very poorly. They don't play like players, which is weird, because you could surely program them. You know, you have pro players, Blizzard. You could ask them, how should this bot be fighting? What should it be doing? At least vaguely, or just very specific. An example, okay, the Reaper bots will instantly Wraithform as soon as they take any damage. If you start shooting at a Reaper bot, it will probably Wraithform instantly. Name one good Reaper main who does that, who takes like one fucking bullet from Soldier's pulse rifle and goes, oh, Wraithform. You know, even when they're in no danger. They don't, you know. I don't mean to be like acting like the authority on Reaper maining, but I mean, hopefully you've seen my videos and you know that I know my way around Gabriel Reyes, okay? I mean, I've only ever gotten high plat, to be honest, so I'm still partially talking out my arse, but I like to feel like I represent the average Overwatch player, because, you know, high plat and low diamond, this is generally where most people sit, and where most of the gripes come from, is either that or, like, you know, low masters. So, yeah, what I want to see is bots that fight like people, like us, you know, bots that actually work, you know. And this is one case where I can't fucking invoke Team Fortress 2, because that game has terrible bots as well. I mean, I could argue they're better, but to be honest, bad AI is bad AI. And I've seen some fucking fantastic AI in recent years, and I think that's... AI is up there with, like, video game soundtracks as one of the things I find most fascinating and impressive about video games. You know, there's a lot of stuff I love about video games, but AI, it probably takes the cake, you know, and it's really disappointing to see a game that is as good as this, because I know I'm doing an entire video just talking shit on Overwatch and talking about the stuff I hate, or at least a large chunk of it, because there's a lot of stuff I hate in Overwatch, but I wouldn't have done 130 videos and still be playing it to this day if I thought it was a bad game. In fact, I wouldn't be making this video if I thought it was a bad game because of this stuff. Because if I thought it was a bad game, I would have set it down and played something else, to be completely honest. I want to see it flourish, and one small part of that is fixing the AI, because, well, for many reasons. First of all, because story mode is... You know, I was going to mention that actually in this video. I was thinking of saying this game needs story mode, but it kind of has with Uprising and Retribution, and apparently they're bringing out a new one soon. So I think my whole you should be able to play whatever game mode whenever you want thing have a story mode. I mean, yeah, but the bots need to be better, they need to be smarter and fight more like players would, because I think you could, first of all, it'd give a safer environment for new players to practice in if there was, you know, more levels of AI. Like, so you got the practice AI, and then you've got, like, AI that will try and fucking win and use, you know, team compositions or strategies and play like the pros play without just turning their aim up to 100. And also on this segment, because I'm not just talking about the bots, I'm talking about training as a whole, the tutorial, oh boy, the tutorial was bad. My favourite part about this is the one I've actually got selected, is the practice range, because the practice range is the only thing that's damn near perfect. Although it would be cool if they expanded on the practice range, you know, added, I don't know, barriers into the mix, other stuff you can experiment with, you know, maybe have like things like the supercharger, or like venom mines littered about, you know, like a wrecking ball minefield somewhere that you can go and interact with, you know, stuff you encounter, because you don't actually encounter training bots in the game ever, so it'd be nice if you could interact with stuff more. But the tutorial, okay. The basic tutorial is actually pretty good, as a very basic tutorial. As a starting point, it's a good start. It teaches the players how to play one of the easier to pick up and more well-rounded characters. It teaches, you know, what a fucking control point is, although that doesn't teach them what a payload is. It also doesn't tell you the payload gives you health, because it doesn't tell you what a payload is, so I've seen a lot of people not know that. It took me a while to realise I was getting health from the payload, longer than I'd like to admit. But hey ho. And like, I don't know how you would fix the tutorial. I mean, first of all, the character descriptions aren't very good that you have. They're pretty basic. I want numbers personally. I want to know, okay, how much damage per shot does this weapon do? How much shots per second, or even just damage per second, can I output with it? How much health does this character have? What percentage of that is armor health? What percentage of it is shield health? Does the health regenerate? You know, where, like, I don't know, do they take headshot damage? How big's that head hitbox? You know, how much of their head counts as their head? Like, obviously the visual model generally communicates that well, but some characters are a little weirder looking, you know, like Diva's mech. How would you know that the specific part of it that counts as the head is, you know, like what it is? Because it's kind of vague. You know, people might not understand that at first, might not grasp it, newer players. As well as that, I think each character needs a basic tutorial, nothing fancy, just pop you down in a room like they did with the soldier one, tell you how to use each of their abilities. So be like, okay, this is Bastion, press this button to shift into turret form. You know, whilst in turret form, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, there you go. You now know the basics of Bastion. Obviously provide a numbers sheet somewhere that's easy to access. And then have some training missions. Have a mission where you have to escort a payload through several sets of stupendously easy to beat bots just to demonstrate what it's like. You know, you'd essentially be fighting cardboard cutouts because it's the fucking tutorial. Make it a girthy old tutorial. Even give you something for completing it just to encourage people. You know, it already does strongly encourage you to play the tutorial, which is very good. But yeah, more strongly encouraging the tutorial would be nice, and having more tutorial in general would be nice. So I want them to do that personally, and I think everyone does. We need to educate newer players, tell them that we need a fucking healer, because holy shit, and healers are not easy enough to come by. So they really need to just educate people like game sense, because I know you can learn a lot from the community, but you shouldn't have to. The game should be able to teach you on its own. I mean, obviously, I suppose they could, you know, they could still have people from the community working in partnership with them. That'd be pretty nice, pretty helpful. Yeah, I would be a big fan of that. Get someone like fucking, I don't know, get someone like CarQ, or Level Uplifting, or Colorblind, or some shit to do, I don't know, something. Make a tutorial. Yeah, there you go. Have pros make tutorials on the basic to advanced strategies for the different character. 3 levels a piece: basic, advanced, and professional. Boom. There you go. You've just, you know, someone wants to main, say, Sombra. They can learn all there is to learn about Sombra in a couple of days. Job done. You've just made your game 10 times better. Well, that was my video on what Overwatch needs to do better to improve itself and hopefully extend its lifespan, because I'd love to see this game live as long as games like Counter-Strike do. Leave a comment if there's anything you'd like to add, any thoughts you have. I'd love to hear other people's opinions actually on this game's balancing, whether you agree, disagree, or have any ideas you think are good. Don't forget, actually, you can send Blizzard suggestions. I don't personally believe they listen to them, but, you know, that's just me being cynical. They might. Hopefully, if enough people do start suggesting changes, especially if they're all similar what people are asking for, then they will actually integrate it. Leave a like if you thought this was even rudimentary in how it entertained you, even a microscopic iota of entertainment extracted from this is enough for me to subsist. Thank you. Subscribe if you're new. Because, you know, this isn't the regular type of content I make, but there's plenty of Overwatch stuff. I'm sure you'll find something to scratch your itch. And yeah, keep your heads up for new content. I'm going to be continuing a lot of stuff that I've been working on. I just got my PC online, so hopefully at some point I can start putting together some higher quality stuff, some edits on the regular. And that's all for today.